So sick and tired of this. You go on Shein, you look at a silk skirt, you look, it says 100% polyester, it's $5. And you go to Zara, you see the same exact skirt, they selling it for $45. You look at the materials, 100% polyester. And then people wondering, oh my gosh, how do I got PCOS? I got PCOS. How my homegirl, my auntie got ovarian cancer or uterine cancer. Your panties is made out of 100% polyester. You're sleeping on 100% polyester sheets. The clothes you wear is 95% polyester, 5% viscose, which is the same thing. Everything got polyester. Polyester is poison. I'm so sick and tired of being taken advantage of. Did you know that your favorite pair of leggings, fresh new box sprays, could be poisoning you? Each time you put those things on your body, toxic chemicals like phthalates or formaldehyde are sipping away, causing skin irritation, disrupting your hormones. Things such as PCOS, hormonal imbalances, or even worse, can increase your risk for cancer. So the worst part about this is that these chemicals, they don't just go away once you take a shower or you wash your head. No, they stay in your system and they build up. So today I'm going to expose the hidden dangers in these leggings and these hair installations, these wigs and these braids. So I'll also be giving you life-changing solutions that you can use to protect yourself. Now stay with me until the end, because I'm going to share you guys one most common item that everyone uses, but it is the most toxic one of them all before the end of this video. So we all know that fast fashion isn't just good for your environment, but it's also bad for your body too. And I'm not just talking about the cheap quality of the material or just the labor laws that they have. I'm talking about the invisible toxic chemicals that are seeping into your body based off the cheap quality materials that these businesses are using just to save cost cuts. So have you ever thought about it? The first time you get either a new pair of shoes and you smell this aroma coming out of the bag and it smells like it's fresh. Not, it actually smells of chemicals in your clothing item. It's not freshness, it's formaldehyde and also phthalates. So these things, they cause endocrine disruptors. So they mess up with your hormones. No wonder why a lot of women, we have PCOS, you gaining weight and you don't know where this stuff is coming from. You're bloated, you having horrible cramps, or you having infertility problems. It's because of all of these estrogen disruptors, things such as from your clothing that you'll wear or any type of hair products. And so you have to be very mindful of these things. So the scariest part about all this is that you don't even know when this stuff is happening. Like one day you could just be living your life, and then the next thing you know, you feel this horrible rash. You feel this big bloatedness in your stomach, or you feel so tired, you feel so fatigued because you're dealing with all of these hormonal imbalances, which comes from things that you wouldn't think. And so not just cheap brands are doing these things. I'm not just saying like, oh, well, I gotta cut off from shopping at such and such Shein, Fashion Nova or whatever. No, high-end brands are doing the same thing too. They are cutting costs and they're using cheap ingredients and they're making you suffer. They're not thinking about your health at the end, and they know these things cause issues. So should I let you guys in on who these name brands are actually doing this? Let me know in the comment section. And also, so what about synthetic hair? If your weave is smelling plasticky, you might be inhaling something far worse. I know how it feels when back before I had my locks, when you got a fresh install, you want the best box sprays or the nice little twist. I feel like you are that girl for your trip, your vacation, for your birthday, whatever. You just want to feel good, but your wig and your weave and your braids, they may be releasing things that people use for dead bodies, formaldehyde, y'all. So that's in the synthetic fibers, lace, the glue that you use, the spray, all of that stuff. And what happens when you are wearing that? You literally are breathing toxins in. So you ever felt like you had a random headache? And I'm not talking because them braids are too tight. I'm talking about them chemicals that's seeping through, that's scapping through those pores. You see all these different type of news that's coming out about how all this stuff, the synthetic hair, is causing all different types of cancers. The first sign that you probably will see is just a small headache, and you got to think about that. Where's this headache coming from? Y'all got to think about what is going on your body, because this stuff is not a coincidence. So you're wondering, how do you know that your clothes or your hair are toxic? So don't worry, I'm gonna break it down to you guys. The reason why I started to be aware of this And I'm not some type of fanatic. I just care about what goes in on my body, what goes into my body. But I never knew. So I always thought I was healthy. Ate right, exercise, workout, all that good stuff, right? But I never knew that I had to be mindful of clothes until recently. Like, I was sleeping on a bed sheet, and I remember I got up and I had hives all on the back of my spine. And I wish I took pictures of this, but I had hives all on the back of my spine until I realized the material that was in the lining of the bed was polyester. And I never knew. I was never like allergic to this stuff, but it was just like the harsh chemicals of it. Even though I washed the linings and the sheets, it still affected my body. It still gave me a rash. And that's when I started thinking about, if I'm sleeping on some bed sheets, how is this affecting me with clothes that I wear? Especially when it comes to me, I like to work out. What type of leggings and the things like of that nature, are they also carrying this in them as well? What is in those materials? So I began to get very, very, very curious about these things, and I realized all this stuff has like a correlation. So I found out all of these clothing items, these bed materials, all this stuff that I'm putting on my body contain estrogen disruptors. Not only was I breaking out, I also was having hormonal problems, very bad period cramps. I started to gain endometriosis. I started to feel like very moody, and I was also having headaches. All these different toxic and chemicals started to affect my hormones and started to affect me. So I was very, very shocked. So let's talk about the top 3 biggest offenders that I found in these different types of clothing items, these hair things. So 3 things that you need to avoid at all costs are: 1, phthalates. I have a hard time pronouncing the word phthalates, whatever. So they're found in cheap synthetic fabric, and they are linked to breast cancer, infertility issues, hormonal problems, birth defects. So formaldehyde is used into wigs, synthetic hairs, lace glue, and even some cotton shirts. And it's a known carcinogen. The third one are flame retardants. These are found in pajamas, leggings, even bed sheets, and this can cause neurological damages. The most horrible part of this is that it doesn't just solely go away, it builds up in your system each day at a time, and that is what makes it so dangerous. So what can you do to protect yourself? So the good news is that you don't have to throw everything out in your entire closet. So check the labels, look for brands that are transparent about the ingredients of their materials, just like you check the ingredients of those boxes of cereals, those different types of food that you eat. You have to start checking the labels of the clothing material that you are putting on your body too. So look for things that says toxic, look for things that says organic or phthalate free, natural fabrics such as organic cotton, bamboo, or wool are way safer than using polyester. And also, have you ever noticed like sometimes some hairs, some wigs or some weaves are softer than others, or like they're more kept up than others? That's because some brands use fewer toxic treatments in them, and that's why they're also more pricier. So before you start buying, look for things that say chemical free or low VOC synthetic hair. But when it comes to all of these things that you have, like your hairs, your braids, your wigs, your weaves, your clothes, start replacing one thing at a time. You don't have to just like empty everything out. That's too much, you know. Let's be realistic here. Start swapping one thing at a time. Whenever you do buy something new, replace it with the thing that you do have. So over time, we will have a brand new wardrobe or a brand new hair collection of things that are not adding to your disruption. So like I promised, the most shocking and toxic clothing item that you can own are a pair of black leggings, because the dark color synthetic leggings often treated with high amounts of azo dyes, which release toxic amines that are linked to cancer. So since leggings are snug close up in your skin, they are the worst. You're sweating and it's going straight directly into your bloodstream, your blood system, which is the reason why you have to be really cautious about what you put on your body. And for me, if I had a choice, that would be the very first thing that I would swap out when it comes to like clothing items. Replace that with something more organic. So were you expecting that to be the most toxic clothing item? Let me know in the comment section below. So at the end of the day, the clothing, the materials, and the stuff that we use to make ourselves look beautiful or feel beautiful should not have these dangerous effects to our health. Make sure you start reading the labels. Look for the different type of ingredients or materials that are used into the clothing, or as well as the hair. Look into if it's toxic or or if it's low VOC synthetic fibers. Also begin to swap one item at a time. Over time, you will begin to have a much more healthier wardrobe and hair collection, because your health is way more important than to keep a bunch of stuff that's making you sick. If this opened you guys' eyes, make sure you guys share this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, peace.